And 4.0 Spiral Abyss has just came out. And if you're an older viewer of my channel, then you already know the drill. But if you're a newer one, well, I tried to beat Spiral Abyss, and I showcased my teams at the end. Yep, that is literally it. So, without any further ado, let's just beat the Spiral Abyss.
Take your true form!
As one with wind and cloud!
Billowing surge!
The wind knows me.
By ordinance divine! Transfiguration! Whirling snow!
One with nature.
Uphill battle! Permanent of the deep!
Clouds high. The birds come. Into the wind.
Hold the line! So rude! Take your true form! My opponent! Think you can get away? Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey.
This is order.
Here we go! See? Higher, higher, hands on fire! Time for takeoff.
Solidify.
Go! Phew, time to go! Let's play! Think you can get away?
Stabilize. Order guides you.
Here comes the catch. My will embodied. Do your master's allow me.
The wind knows me.
Kami-Satoran. Sumetsu.
Fallen leaves. Adorn my...
Torrent, Trick Review. Let's move out. Rest and rebuild. Transfiguration. By ordinance divine.
Into the wind.
Take your true whirling snow. Hold the line. Transfiguring.
Solidify!
Game's up. Fun's over. Rain outlines your fate. Know my son. Take it easy. Here comes the catch. Let me weave you a web.
Illusion shattered. Sharing the knowledge.
A bitter pill to swallow, taking a turn for the better.
Inazuma shines eternal. I see everything. The Temple of Wisdom. What?
Mind the side effects. Seems like an emergency.
Around billowing surge. Shine down. Torn to oblivion. Make yourselves at home.
Remember, health comes first.
There is no escape. Now you shall perish. Committed to memory, the Temple of Wisdom. Rest and remember.
Mind the side effects. Taking a turn for the better.
Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power of the wild. Game's up. Fun's over.
This is order.
Ring cutter. Things are about to get dicey. Not over.
Solidify!
Rain outlines your fate. Let me read you a verse. Busted. Here comes the catch.
You're coming
down.
for
I
toes.
see everything.
Where the
Sharing the
eternal oasis. Bloom as the flowers of God.
The Temple of Wisdom.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health
There is no escape. The eternal Inazuma shines eternal. Hey, make yourselves at home. Hold the line.
seems like an emergency.
Torn to oblivion. This way, Pergola. Sharing my knowledge. Torrent, bring refuge. Rest and rebuild.
Mindless side effect.
Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal.
for a dance.
Solidify!
Dance with me!
Let's move.
Gotcha. Let me weave you a verse. Know my sword.
We'll have order.
Done yet. Here comes the catch. Quietly now. Witness the power provides you.
Stabilize.
Gotcha. Rain outlines your fate. Up, game's up. Come, Zoe. Let me weave you a verse. Higher, higher, yes, I'm fire. There is no escape.
The Temple of Wisdom. Allow me. Torrent, bring her here.
A bitter pill to swallow. Seems like an emergency.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Sharing my knowledge. Rest and reboot.
Remember,
Shine down. Torn to oblivion. Illusion shattered.
Commit to memory. The Temple of Wisdom. Allow.
seems like an emergency. Mind the sight.
Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal. There is no escape.
Grow. Sharing my knowledge. Rest and reboot.
A bitter pill to swallow. Taking a turn for the...
Torn to oblivion. Illusion shattered.
Commit to memory. Make yourself at home.
And that is it for this Spiral Abyss. And I gotta say, it is alright actually. It is not that bad, but of course there are some frustrating moments on floor 12, but definitely not as bad as the lectors where they have the shields. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna be explaining the floors, but I will be explaining them in greater detail on the commentary version of this Spiral Abyss. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So, on floor 11, it's not that bad because it's just Pyro and Cryo slime, so just take advantage of the leyline disorder. Just bring Hydro and Pyro characters and you should be fine. The only noteworthy thing to talk about here is the Primo Geo Vishap. So just bring a shield character and you'll be fine on this because, well, it can damage itself if you have a shield. So pretty easy floor right there. Pretty much anyone can beat this floor at this point. So yeah. As for floor 12, this floor is mostly catered towards Lenny and Lynette, the new characters, because of how their kits work. So yeah, specifically the second half. The second half is meant to be Lenny and Lynette's floor. So yeah. The only noteworthy thing for first half is the Magu Kenki. If you know how to beat this guy, then I'm pretty sure you know how to I'm pretty sure you know how to beat this floor in like 3 minutes. So yeah. Of course, the second half has new enemies like the Clockwork Mechas and the Tainted Waters. So yeah, you have to watch out for those. The Tainted Waters are pretty tanky though, so I advise you to bring at least a triple Pyro team yes, with Lenny, obviously. Or you can run any other team like Hu Tao, Double Hydro, or a Electro team if you want. So yeah, just bring those and you should be fine. Which is what I did. I just ran the Hyper Bloom team on second half. But as I will explain later, that is probably the worst thing I probably could have ran on this chamber, because it took me several retries just to beat the boss over here, the nemesis of the Calipius. So yeah, I'm gonna explain that later. So yeah. The only noteworthy thing for the second chamber is the Emperor of Fire and Iron. That's basically it. All you have to do is bring a Hydro character and you should be fine. Yep, that's all you have to do. Because it uses Pyro Shields, and the only way to counteract Pyro Shields is with Electro, or Hydro, or Cryo. But Hydro is the quickest way to get rid of its shield, so yeah, just bring a Hydro character and you should be fine. And there's nothing noteworthy here either. It's just the Overgrown Breacher and the Large Shatterstone Breacher. So yeah, it's not that bad. They are stationary enemies, so you can just spam your attacks and then they basically die. So yeah, that's pretty simple. And then now we have Chamber 3, which is the hardest floor, or the hardest chamber in this floor. So on the first half is just Clockwork Mechas with an Aramite and Pyro Slingers. And then the second half is the Nemesis of the Coplius. So this has a unique mechanic. If you haven't read the game mechanics already, then I'll explain it now. So the dancers will do a dance, and that dance will generate a shield. Once their dance is finished, the shield will be gone, and that is when the moment you should strike. Yep, you have to strike when they finish dancing, which is, I think, around a minute or 30 minutes is when, not 30 minutes, a minute to 30 seconds, I'm pretty sure. So 30 seconds to a minute where they stop dancing, and that's when your chance to attack. But there are ways to counteract this. One, you could use triple pyro and then just decimate their shields. Yep, you could destroy their shields with pyros characters. So yeah, that's why I advise you to bring mono pyro. It is pretty good against this. You can also bring one pyro character. I'm pretty sure it's going to destroy their shield. So yeah, my advice for this floor is bring one hydro character for first half, bring one pyro character for second half. That's basically it. There is also a way to get rid of their shield immediately, and that's through Lynette. Yes, Lynette is the only character in the entire game that uses Oisia attacks. And Oisia attacks will destroy their shields. Yep, it one-shots them. So, if you have Lynette, or you could spare the slot for Lynette, bring her on the second half. You'll thank me later. But I didn't do that. I used the Raiden Hyper Bloom team. So yeah. Instead of actually using the mechanics to my advantage, so just using pyro characters, I didn't bring any, by the way. So I have to force myself to beat it. So I have to brute force it. Yep. I brute forced my way to getting the 3-star clear. That is not advised. That's only if you have really highly built characters. Yeah. Make sure you guys actually play the game instead of, brute forcing it like me. So yeah, just bring Lynette or bring a pyro character and you'll thank me later. This would be really easy. But as for me, I had to actually brute force my way to victory. So yeah, it is pretty bad. Don't do what I do. Just don't do what I do. But yeah, that's basically it for the abysses. So now it is time to talk about my builds. So without any further ado, let's do it. So I am going to be doing it on the party select screen instead of the character screen because it looks way cooler. So yeah, we're just going to be doing that. I will be going over here because, well, it is way more nicer, and we don't have any factors into their stats like double pyro or double hydro with HP and attack. So yeah, this is just a way to showcase them on their raw stats. So yeah, there we go. So first off on the team, we have Hu Tao. Yep, Hu Tao Double Hydro. That is the first half team that I used. So, my Hu Tao build hasn't changed at all. So yeah, as you can see, crit damage, energy recharge is okay. I don't have any elemental mastery because she already does way too much damage. Pyro damage is also pretty good. I have Staff of Homa as her 5-star weapon. Yep, Staff of Homa, the best pole arm in the entire game. It is really, really well suited for her. Of course, there's also other free-to-play weapons you can run as well, but Staff of Homa is her best weapon. And then we have 4-piece Crimson of Witch of Flames for her artifact set. It is pretty good. It is her best artifact set, but trying to farm it is a nightmare. So yeah, good luck farming for this 4-piece set for Hu Tao. As for constellations, I have her set C1. Her C1 is the best constellation ever because it basically lets her do charge attacks without consuming stamina. So you could just spam it. That basically changes Hu Tao's gameplay. So yeah, pretty good. And as for talents, 10-10-10, I main her. So yeah, I have to give her 10-10-10. So yeah, pretty good. Hu Tao, of course, is the star of the show. Of course, her other supports are also stars of the show too, to make her pop off. So first off, we have Zhongli, who is the best support in the entire game. Yeah, one of the best supports actually. So yeah, as you can see, his max HP is pretty high, means that his shield becomes really stable. I gave him crit damage so his Q can hit hard. He doesn't really need that much energy recharge either. So yeah. As for weapon, I gave him the Primordial Jade Spear for the crit rate and the attack. Yeah, that's basically it. I could run the Black Tassel, which is a 3-star weapon, but I want the crit rate to basically have his Q do damage. Yeah, I want to squeeze a little bit of damage on him as well as the utility, so that's the only reason why I gave him a crit rate weapon. The 4-piece set that I ran here is Tenacity of the Millilith, which is his best support set, because all you have to do is cast his elemental skill and his shield, and you get an increased attack. Yeah, it is pretty good. One of the best artifact sets for him, for sure. As for constellations, I have him at C0. He doesn't really need constellations to be good, so yeah, that's why I don't run it. And as for talents, 6-10-6. Yep, I maxed this out. He doesn't really need to max out these two. So yeah, Zhongli, extremely good support. Best shielder in the game. Next up is Yelan. Yes, Yelan is still out at the time I am recording this video, and I'm pretty sure by the time it uploads, she is still out right now. So it's time to explain my Yelan build. And maybe this will influence you to pull her, because she is basically one of the best Hydro supports and the best Hydro DPS in the entire game. Yep. So as you can see here, crit damage is pretty high. Her energy recharge is also pretty good too, meaning that she can get her elemental burst back. 200 is a more comfortable range, but 180 I just run because, well, I run her on Raiden and double Hydro teams. So yeah, she's just gonna get her burst back anyway. As for her weapon, I have Aqua Simulacra as her weapon. This is her best weapon, and it's her exclusive weapon to her. Yeah, if you want to run Yelan, run this weapon. It is extremely good. As for artifact set, I have 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate, which is her best sub DPS set. So if you want to run her as a sub DPS, this is the artifact set to run. As for constellations, I have her at C0. She doesn't really need constellations to be good, so the only reason why I don't want to give constellations to her is because she doesn't need one. And as for talents, I have 6, 7, 8. I'm still currently trying to level this up to level 10, just because it's basically her base kit at this point, and I do have a lot of crowns of insignias, so I want to at least spend some on the characters I do use, so yeah. But there is Yelan, pretty cool character. One of the best Hydro sub DPSs in the entire game. Speaking of one of the best Hydro sub DPSs in the entire game, last up we have Xingqiu, who is extremely good as well. He is also a day 1 character, by the way, and he's still this good. As you can see here, crit damage is average. Energy recharge is pretty high too. and you'll see why his energy recharge is pretty high in a moment. His weapon is the Sacrificial Sword, which is his best sword. You can just use 2 elemental skills and you get your burst back, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this is Xingqiu's best weapon by far. As for artifact set, I have him at 4-piece emblem. Yep, the only reason why I gave him high energy recharge is because of this. And you spam his burst a lot, so yeah, that's basically it. As for constellations, I have him at C6, of course. I mean, C6 Xingqiu is like one of the most OP sub DPSs in the entire game. So yeah, if you want to get Xingqiu to max level, then just run him at C6. And as for talents, I have 6, 10, 13. Yep, this is maxed out. So yeah, pretty good. Xingqiu, one of the best Hydro sub DPSs in the entire game, shares a spot with Yelan. So yeah. Well, now it's time to go over the second half team. So, let's go. First up, Raiden Shogun. Yep. Raiden Shogun. AKA A. So, her crit damage is pretty high. Her energy recharge is also pretty good too. Yep. Seeing a pattern here. Her weapon is Engulfing Lightning, which is her best pull arm. I always pull for the Archon weapons, except for Zhongli, because Zhongli doesn't need his Archon weapon. More on that on a Let's Say video. But yeah, in short, Zhongli's Archon weapon, it sucks. It's terrible. But the others are pretty good. So yeah, Engulfing Lightning is pretty good. It is her best weapon. So if you ever want to run a really good weapon on Raiden, run Engulfing Lightning. You can also run the Catch as well, but Engulfing Lightning is her best weapon. As for artifact set, I gave her 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate. This is her best support, sub DPS, and DPS set. So yeah, just run this set. It's the only set you'll ever run. As for constellations, I have her at C0. I am, by the way, planning to get her at C2, just because of this. This is way too broken for its own good, and I want to make her one of the strongest DPSs in the entire game, because C0 Raiden is okay. Yeah, she's okay on like certain teams, but C2 Raiden is extremely busted. Yeah, so I want to save for that as soon as she gets a rerun. So yeah. And as for talents, 10, 10, 10, I main her. So yeah, I actually want to get her constellations. So yeah, there is Raiden. She pops off even at C0. So yeah, pretty cool. Next up is Nahida. Yep, Nahida. Who is the best Dendro support in the entire game. Also one of the best Dendro sub DPS in the entire game. Yep, Nahida is a be-all end-all on Dendro. So pretty cool. So I have high elemental mastery. Yep. You need to cap it at 1,000 because that's the max she could give to her party members. So yeah, crit rate, crit damage is pretty average. Energy recharge is pretty average too. As for a weapon, I have 1,000 Floating Dreams. Again, as I said before, I pull for the Archon weapons. So yeah, pretty good. This is her best weapon. There's also a Magic Guide, which is a 3-star weapon. That is also pretty good on her too. But 1,000 Floating Dreams is her best weapon, so just run that. As for artifact set, 4-piece Deepwood. There is literally no contest on this because this is literally her best build. So just run Deepwood. Yep, run 4-piece Deepwood and forget about it. And as for constellations, I have her at C0. Again, her C2 is broken. So maybe I will pull for this if the Nahida gets a rerun. Yeah, because you get high reaction damage, so she can basically be ran on Dendro teams better, aka being the best Dendro support in the entire game. So yeah, I actually want to get Nahida at C2 if possible. And as for her talents, 6, 10, 9, yep, I am trying to level this up to level 10. But I don't have enough materials right now, so I can't do that. But yeah, there is Nahida, pretty cool Dendro support, one of the best Dendro supports, and one of the best Dendro DPS in the entire game. So yeah. Next up, we have Kokomi the fish. Yep, Sangonomiya Kokomi. So her HP is pretty high, Her energy recharge is okay. She doesn't really need energy recharge since she is just an off-field character that I run. So yeah. As for a weapon, I have Prototype Amber. This is her best free-to-play weapon, by the way. So just use this if you want to run a free-to-play Kokomi. But obviously her best weapon is a donut. Just run the donut. But the Prototype Amber for me, I just run because I want to make her a free-to-play. So yeah. I don't want to spend my primos on her weapon if I could just get a free-to-play weapon that basically supports her. As for artifact set, I have 4-piece Ocean Hued Clam, which is her best set in general because it supports, it does some DPS damage, and it heals, which is pretty cool. So yeah, run this if you want to make her a DPS, sub-DPS Kokomi. As for constellations, I have her at C1. Yep, I got this by accident. So yeah, now I can actually run her as a DPS thanks to this. So yeah, pretty cool, I guess, that Kokomi gets this constellation. But yeah. And as for talent 688, I'm still trying to level this up to level 10 since I use this way too often. But yeah, Kokomi, there you go. One of the best Hydro supports and the best healer in the entire game. So yeah. And last but not least, we have Baiju. Yep, Baiju. People don't use him that often, but I use him because he's pretty cool. His kit's pretty cool at least. So yeah. His HP is pretty high. He doesn't have crit rate, crit damage because he is mainly a support. His energy recharge is also pretty high too. The weapon I gave him is the Favonius Codex. Obviously, his personal weapon is his best weapon, but I want to run a free-to-play weapon on him because I don't have enough primos to save. I need to save my primos for other stuff. So, yeah. Favonius Codex is what I gave him. It is pretty simple, really. I only just give him this for the energy recharge, meaning that he can spam his burst. That's basically it. As far as artifact set, I gave him 4-piece Deepwood. Obviously, this is his best artifact set. If you want to run a healing artifact set, then you can just run 4-piece Maidens. But Deepwood Memories is pretty good on this because all you have to do is cast the Elemental Skill and Burst, which is what he basically does, and Dendro Res is decreased by 30%. So yeah, he works really well on Dendro teams with this artifact set. As for Constellations, I am at C0. He doesn't need Constellations again to be good, so that's the only reason why I don't give him Constellations. And as for Talents, I have him at 666. So yeah, it is minimally built. I probably might level these both up to level 10 because I use them. So yeah, but that's basically it. So there you go. There's Baiju, the only Dendro healer and one of the best Dendro healers in the game besides Yao Yao. Obviously Yao Yao is a healer, but Baiju is the best in that category. And that is basically it for the Spiral Abyss 4.0. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave it a like. Also, if you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to not miss out on a single upload that I do. Also, comment down below, what do you think of this Spiral Abyss? You think it's easy? You think it's hard? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching this Spiral Abyss video. And I'll see you guys in the next Spiral Abyss video.